Nothing we say is investment advice. Please pause on all 3 pages of this disclaimer and read it.
All right, what's up, everybody? Cowboys just had a little bit of an audio issue, but I'm getting that figured out right now, and hopefully that's done. And it is now 8:30 a.m. EST. We're looking at the charts, looking at Bitcoin, and a lot of the market is leveling off. Big moves yesterday in pretty much all the markets, right? So the way markets go is they tend to all move together. You get big moves in equities, which then push currencies, or vice versa, which pushes Bitcoin. And, the markets are not in this like, oh, this is going to move and that's not going to move, right? So I think the thing to look at here, though, is in particular Bitcoin. It's supposedly in the middle of a bull market. Some people think that we've seen the end of the bull market. Others think we have not, and that remains to be seen. But in the near term, the area I'm looking at is right here, right? This level is a key level, and that level is 88,700 or so, 88.6, 88.7. Right now, price needs to break above that for price to go up. Now, it may very well do so. It's very possible the price will head up. Let me go ahead and take a quick look at the algos. Just waiting for a few things to happen here, but I think we're going to see more up near term. Now, we're at a very specific spot where price is going to want to go up and or level off. So let me get out of this crazy screen so you can see a little bit better. Remember, Thursday is a big day in the markets, right? So let me flip over to Forex Factory, and we have the final GDP and unemployment claims. Unemployment claims is every week, but the GDP is quarter over quarter, and that's a big number. So if that's way off, then of course we might see the markets do a lot of surprising things. So I'm kind of holding off on high time frame prognostications, if you will. The word I'm looking for is where you predict things, right? Holding off on high time frame predictions until that happens. But I do think what's most likely over the next few days is kind of a grind upwards towards about 90K. Now, if we back out and we look at the daily chart, 90K is very important. And the reason it is because price has bounced there many times before. So let me go ahead and get rid of some of the markings on the chart here, give us a little bit of a clean look. This big, large rectangle is what happened with Bitcoin. It's a range that was basically created between the end of last year, November, December, all the way until it broke downwards in February, which was a trade that I took very publicly, called it out, and named it ahead of time. Now, 90K has had a lot of bounce, right? We've seen it go back and forth. I pointed this out on the Sunday video that I do every week. Pay attention to that. Okay, watch every Sunday. Been pretty accurate with my predictions, provided that we don't get any major surprises in markets. Been pretty darn accurate. But you see, all these times the price has bounced off of 90 top side. Well, that means it may very well do so bottom side, and it actually has, right? So I'll show you some times recently when it bounced top side, and that's right here. Price rallied up. Now, this was a special rally right here where Trump made some kind of announcement and price just bombed up on a Sunday, but then it tried to rally and it got stuffed down at 90K. So will price make it above 90K? If it does what I think it will do over the next few days, and make it even up to 90K. I think, yes, I think there's going to be some significant resistance here. Now, there is a chance, the price will just continue upwards and very strongly. That is a possibility. But I do have some concerns. The higher time frame charts do show the price might need to come back down and grab liquidity. So it's a really tough call for me. I mean, I'm really 50-50, and that is okay in trading. It's okay to be 50-50, right? And what we do is we have ways of looking at what price does at the time. So as price hits 90K, I can take a look at what the algos are telling me at that time. But I think that it might be wise to hold off on any major decisions until Thursday, right? And it may well be the price never makes it above this 110,000, 109,000 all-time high that we saw back in January. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but I did say last year quite a lot that 100,000 might end up being the top. I said that quite often. Very unpopular opinion, but I do think the price will eventually reapproach that level. Now, will it break that level? It's a different story. We'll see about that, but I do think we're going to see price at least break 90K at some point, right? And we'll see what happens there. Let me go ahead and silence some notifications here. Apologies for all that noise. Give me 1 second here. Okay, mute. Good. So let's go ahead and move on. We'll take a look at Solana. Solana is going to follow along with Bitcoin. And actually, the move up again on Monday, the equities market yesterday really pushed up in a big way. And of course, it pushed things up faster than I thought it would, and even farther than I thought it would. So Solana followed along with Bitcoin as it does. And so that's why we're seeing what we're seeing here in the market as price really crunched upwards towards that. So no big surprises there. And I would expect Solana to do a similar thing to Bitcoin. Although it doesn't have really the same kind of structure, I would expect Solana to reapproach this level right here where there were several bumps basically here at about 150. I think Solana is going to approach that. It may break it, may not. But again, this trajectory kind of has that happening maybe tomorrow, maybe Wednesday, if things slow down, of course, later. So we're going to see how that goes. Lots of different things to take a look at in the meantime. Now, let's take a look at an amazing prediction that I made here on the NASDAQ. I drew this on Sunday. You all saw it if you watched the Sunday video. If you didn't, well, you're making a mistake because my predictions that I make on Sunday are pretty awesome. Look at this. It does not get any more accurate than this. Not really, right? I mean, for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 15, 18 hours, price really exactly followed what I said it would do. And then it even leveled off around the time I said it would break down and level off. Now it's starting to head back up. So far on the NASDAQ, which is what we're looking at, charts are bullish. And charts are bullish pretty high time frame. That's a weekly. So I expect NASDAQ to head up for the time being. The only exception for this week, next week, and maybe even another week would be that the news comes out and something crazy happens, and which could very well happen. There are theories out there that the European big money is pulling their money out of the market in retaliation for geopolitics and Ukraine and other things. So we'll see about that. In the meantime, though, the charts are saying continuation up on the NASDAQ, which would push usually Bitcoin up as well. The two are correlated to a certain degree. So we're going to see what happens with all of that. We do have a few minutes yet left. Remember, I am primarily a Forex trader. And so I'm going to go ahead and look at what is going on with the euro versus the dollar. I expected a dip out of this, and I expected a deeper dip, but it appears that the dollar is going to weaken a bit because stocks are headed up and price may or may not flip. I don't know. It looks to me, let's just look at a quick look at the algos. Yeah, if anything, we might see another bit of continuation down, but it might be after some sideways. So obviously you can see here on Sunday, I thought price would dip out farther. It did dip out, but it did not dip out quite as far. Again, I think it has to do with a surprisingly strong performance on the Monday open for the stock market. Usually money rushes out of dollars to go into equities in those cases. So in this case, though, might see something where you get sideways and then a little down and then up, or just kind of up. I mean, it's hard to say right now. That markets are a bit mixed. And the reason markets are a bit mixed is because that strong Monday move now has to be digested by the market, and market has to choose which way it's going to go. I do think, though, that price is either going to go sideways or up from here on the EUR/USD. The next one to look at is the USD/JPY. And again, we're looking at more or less what I thought, USD heading up. And then we, again, had that strong Monday open. So the Japanese yen is kind of like the dollar in a certain way, but even more so in that when the stocks go up, the Japanese yen goes down. That's historically what's happened. And the carry trade, although it was temporarily taken off, the carry trade was put back on last year. And what that means is that money flows to the Japanese yen when stocks go up. down. When stocks go down, money escapes and goes into the Japanese yen in a big way. And then when stocks go up, money leaves Japanese yen to go into stocks. And this is why we've seen the big moves that we've seen over the past day or so. But remember, USD has similar look to that. So they kind of get a little bit of a mixed reaction here, almost making things rather tradable, believe it or not. So the move here that I kind of predicted, I wouldn't say that was a great prediction. I'd say it's kind of a little bit lucky that I called this secondary move here. So either way, though, I do expect right now the Japanese yen to level off. Expect a lot of currencies to level off and not do a lot today. I think today might be a good day for scalping, but other than that, I don't think the currencies are going to do a whole lot. It does seem that this range, more or less, going back to February here, the end of February, is a little bit continued, and then price may or may not jump or dump back into that range and bounce around, or perhaps bounce off. We're going to see over the next few days what that does. But a leveling off of a lot of currencies is what I expect. So here's the thing about it. What we're really good at over at Algo Factory is a couple of things. One of them is predicting where price is going to go. Another one is identifying when it is a good time to trade and when it is not a good time to trade. Now, one thing that people don't understand, because they're kind of stuck in, let's just say, the old way, you can call it. A lot of people, they want to take it easy. They want to have crypto and then it goes up and then it just keeps going up and then they make money, right? And that works to a degree. I know in 2023, I was telling people that I was interested in buying Solana under $20. And of course, it went up. Well, I think it made it up to 300, if not the high twos. I can't remember where the high was this year. But long story short, yeah, that's a great way to go. I consider cryptos even tradable, like Bitcoin, Solana. You can trade those. I trade them quite often. You see me do it publicly. But the reality is that the Forex market and the indices have a lot more opportunities. So the way I like to do things is I trade the Forex market short term, and I will probably start trading indices at some point. Precious metals as well, taking those profits, putting them where I think it's going to be best. It might be gold or silver or crypto or whatever investments I like. And we're really good at teaching people how to do all of that. So I really, really recommend that you come check us out. AlgoFactor.tech will teach you how to trade like a hedge fund pro, aka trade like an adult. We're very, very good at what we do. And so we really hope to see you soon over there, AlgoFactor.tech. And while you're at it, just remember and never forget.
Join us or die.
Just kidding.